It's the 29th of December 2025. This is a brand new edition of Newsfirst Primetime News coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo, bringing you tonight's bulletin. I am Jaima Ratnayaka for the Newsfirst team.
And I am Hashini Patrana. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Highest tourist arrivals since 2018 recorded this year. Sri Lanka ranked among Asia's top 5 tourist destinations. Broadcast license can be revoked for publishing harmful public health news, a warning from the media minister. Human activity suspected in landslide that claimed 28 lives in Mavathura Gampula. Former Ministry Secretary Renuka Ekanayaka summoned again by FCID over dairy cattle import scandal.
On to your top story for tonight. For the first time since 2018, Sri Lanka has set a new benchmark for annual tourist arrivals.
Today marked a historic moment as the country surpassed its previous record of 2,333,796 visitors achieved in 2018. This morning, the 2,333,797th tourist arrived in Sri Lanka, officially breaking the 7-year record. The milestone traveller was Professor Felix Beslin Pereira, accompanied by his wife and daughter, who flew in from Thiruvananthapuram, India on a Sri Lankan Airlines flight. To celebrate this achievement, a special ceremony was organised at Bandaranaike International Airport, where the family was warmly welcomed. The event featured cultural performances and a dedicated program to mark the occasion, underscoring the significance of this tourism triumph for the nation.
We know tourism is backbone in our economy, where our foreign exchange earning is necessary at this time. And to make that, well, to run the economy, the industry, our stakeholders and everyone, they are working very hard. And we know the disastrous calamity took place a couple of weeks back, Cyclone Ditwa. And at that time, there were about 60,000 plus visitors in the country. And with the help of all of us, all the stakeholders, everyone, including all the villagers, we managed to safeguard all the tourists and the industry without any major incident. And Sri Lanka's tourism has, gone through a number of disastrous situations in the history. This time, it was just a couple of days, and we have, bounced back. The resilience of the industry has shown is evident with this record-breaking number of tourist arrivals for this year. And as I said, we will continue this momentum for the coming year as well.
I am privileged and honored to be here with you in this great function, because it gave me a surprise, because I have heard of Sri Lanka many times, because I am staying in India, south of India. I am from Kerala, and after enjoying this Christmas celebrations and all, we thought we'll visit our neighbor country, Sri Lanka, because we have heard of Sri Lanka, and even some of my colleagues are from Sri Lanka in Papua New Guinea. Anyway, I wish you all success, and I hope, because your minister already said tourism is a backbone of the economy of this country. So I hope that the tourism in this country will develop because you have a lot of resources, and I wish all success.
We faced many incidents, but we faced it together and we revived tourism industry together. So that is what we have been having right now. That is the result of it. So this might be a kind of a smaller number compared to our future, which we can achieve much more higher level of numbers, not only the numbers, but the hearts of our tourists. Actually, India, I must thank every single Indian tourist who traveled to Sri Lanka. We had about 520,000 Indian tourists travel, historically highest this year. And every single one has a confidence about our country. At this moment, we had about 20 to 30 accolades from all over the world, with all renowned magazines like Lonely Planet, Nat Geo, and various other kind of parties who are in tourism are actually celebrated the success of Sri Lanka's tourism industry.
Meanwhile, the family of Professor Felix Bestlin Pereira also shared their views with Newsfirst.
How do you feel right now? How excited are you to visit Sri Lanka?
I'm very excited. I'm already excited to be in Sri Lanka because this is a country that I wanted to visit for a very long time. And also, like my mom said, we thought that, they made some mistake at the airport because we were getting special treatment and we were thinking, did they think we were business class or something? So we thought they made a mistake somehow. Any second now they will realize it. But then when we reached, we were like, okay, this is what is happening, and really, really happy, and we feel very lucky to be a part of this. And we came here to buy gems, but we already got one as a gift.
You guys are the gems today.
Oh, thank you.
Sri Lanka has been ranked the 5th best destination in Asia to visit in 2026 by US News and World Report based on feedback from readers and the publication's own travel experts. The ranking is topped by Mount Fuji in Japan, followed by Tokyo, Palawan in the Philippines and Seoul, South Korea. The report praises Sri Lanka for offering a unique combination of natural beauty, cultural heritage and adventure opportunities, all without the crowds commonly found at Asia's most popular tourist destinations. The report adds that despite being a relatively small island nation, Sri Lanka is home to 26 national parks, making it a haven for wildlife enthusiasts. It also highlights that cultural and historical attractions also make Sri Lanka a standout destination. According to the report, Sri Lanka's appeal lies in its diverse experiences with a compact footprint, from trekking through rainforests and exploring colonial-era cities to enjoying luxury resorts and world-class cuisine. This balance of adventure, culture and leisure ensures that travelers can enjoy a fulfilling and varied holiday, making Sri Lanka one of Asia's must-visit destinations for 2026. Sri Lanka has made a stunning leap in popularity among Indian holidaymakers, emerging as the third most booked international destination for the 2025 holiday season. This surge is confirmed by the latest figures from Make My Trip, India's leading travel booking platform based on reservations between the 20th December 2025 and January 2026. For years, Sri Lanka has been admired for its sun-kissed beaches, ancient temples and lush landscapes, but 2025 marks a turning point. The island nation now stands shoulder to shoulder with global tourism giants, surpassing expectations and redefining its position on India's travel map. Thailand continues to dominate as the top overseas destination for Indian tourists, followed by the United Arab Emirates.
News First, with the people.
In more local news, Minister of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, stated that the Media Minister has the authority to revoke a television broadcasting license if news harmful to public health is published. While appreciating journalists who contribute to promoting public health awareness, the Minister announced in Colombo that steps will be taken to enforce this license condition.
To public health. Similar clauses exist for national security and economic interests. Currently, we only send letters requesting corrections when misinformation occurs. But going forward, we will enforce these conditions. Without regulation, the country cannot progress. This must be done.
එනිසා මෙතනින් එහාට කවුරු හරි මහජන සෞඛ්‍ය සම්බන්ධයෙන් විකෘති සාගත ප්‍රවෘත්ති ප්‍රචාරය කළොත් දැන් අපි කරමින් ඉන්නේ ලියුම අමාත්‍යවරයා ඒක නිවැරදි කරන්න කියන එක පමණයි. අනිවාර්ය වශයෙන්ම මේ ලයිසන් එක ලබා දීමේදී දීලා තියෙන කොන්දේසි අපි බලාත්මක කරනවා. එහෙම නැතුව රටක් ඉස්සරහට යන්න බෑ. ඒක කරන්නට ඕනේ.
Former Minister Dilan Pereira shared the following thoughts.
Have we ever said, don't watch it, don't go there? Never. If we wanted, we could easily create a social media group called the Movement Against this Biased Media Enterprise. But we will not do that. I have seen ministers and MPs saying things like, we need to form a government to pardon the brother of the head of that media network. We will not form a government for that. We will not take power to grant pardons to anyone.
At a media briefing held in Colombo today, the Janabala Collective analysed media operations and the government's approach towards them.
අපි ගත්තොත් ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් විවේචන ගෙනෙන මාධ්‍යයන් දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ඔවුන් විසින් මේ
If we take a closer look, there are primarily two media outlets that consistently attract criticism. These outlets have for a long time, not just recently, engaged in reporting that goes beyond public interest, spreading nationalism, promoting religious extremism, and manufacturing false news based on lies and distortions. When we examine their political agendas and business motives, it becomes clear why they operate this way, using media platforms to advance their own political and commercial objectives rather than strengthening governance. It is important to note that these media institutions exploit public frequencies. However, instead of using these frequencies responsibly, they mislead the public with false narratives, destabilize governments, and prioritize their own political and business interests. This misuse of media cannot be accepted. It is not something we can approve. It is in fact a crime against the people and a crime against the country.
ඔවුන් ජනතාවට කරන අපරාධයක් ඒක රටට එරෙහිව කරන අපරාධයක් කියලා තමයි අපිට කියන්න වෙන්නේ.
මගන ජනතාවට තියෙන අයිතියක් තමයි සත්‍ය දැනගැනීමට තියෙන ඒක පැහැදිලිව මේක ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී රටක තියෙන මූලික ලක්ෂණයක්. මේ ශාලිකා කරන්නේ පැහැදිලිවම මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී අයිතිය උල්ලංඝනය කිරීම. සත්‍ය දැනගැනීම වෙනුවට ව්‍යාජ පුවත් වේගයෙන් මවමින් වපුරමින් ජනතාව තුළ ඔසන්සුන්තාවයන් වගේම ජනතාව තුළ ඇත්තටම ආණ්ඩුවට එල්ල කරන්න ඕන විවේචන වළක්වමින් ඔවුන්ගේ න්‍යාය පත්‍රයක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරගෙන ඉන්නවා. ඒ නිසා අපි දැක්ක මේ නාලිකා තමයි මේ රටේ ජාතිවාදයේ වපුරන්න ඕන කරපු දේවල් අපි
The public has a fundamental right, the right to know the truth. This is clearly one of the core principles of a democratic nation. These channels are blatantly violating that democratic right. Instead of truth, they manufacture and spread fake news at high speed, creating unrest among the people while shielding the government from legitimate criticism. Their agenda is clear. We have seen these channels deliberately promote racism and communal hatred. For example, during the controversy involving Dr. Shafi, they spearheaded narratives that fueled extreme nationalist and racist sentiments. They sensationalized stories about sterilization, undergarments and knives and machetes hidden in mosques and Muslim homes, deliberately inciting division. These channels have caused severe damage to peace and harmony in this country, yet no action has been taken against them and they continue their operations unchecked. These channels must be held accountable and subjected to public scrutiny. Recently, we saw Pohottua figures, including Sagala Karyavasan, claiming the government is planning media suppression. But let us be clear, the public is not blind or deaf. The same group now crying foul is the one that orchestrated the worst media suppression in this country's history, killings, violence and intimidation against journalists. We remember the terror from 2000s up to 2015, the burning of Sirasa TV in 2005, the assassination of Lasantha Vikramatunga, attacks on journalists like Nimal Rajan and Sivaram, assaults on Poddala Jayantha and the disappearance of Prageet Eknaligoda, who was brutally murdered. These atrocities were committed by the same clique around the Rajapaksa family. So, do not make a mockery of media freedom now.
Prageet Eknaligoda අතුරුදහන් කරලා ඔහුව තවමත් ඔහු හොයාගන්න බෑ ඔහුව පැහැදිලිවම මරා දැමලා තිබෙන්නේ. මේ සියල්ල කලේ කවුද? දැන් ඔය පොහොට්ටුව තමයි. ඒ නිසා විහිසුළු මාධ්‍ය මර්ධනයක්. ඒක ඇඟ කිලිපොලා යන මාධ්‍ය මර්ධනයක් කලේ දැන් ඔය පොහොට්ටුවේ නාමල් බේබීස් ඇතුළු නාමල් බේබීගේ ඒ රාජපක්ෂ පවුලයි ඒ පවුල වටේ ඉන්න ඔය කණ්ඩායම තමයි. ඒ නිසා මාධ්‍ය මර්ධනවල විහිළු කරන්න යන්න එපා.
Views were also expressed on the conduct of the opposition leader.
We want to raise a question about the opposition and Sajith Premadasa himself. Where is he speaking from and what is he really saying? Sajith Premadasa appears to be positioning himself as a politically defeated figure. He seems willing to compromise anywhere for a place in power. Even now, the same media outlets that once acted against him continue to promote him with whitewashing campaigns.
From the earth to the deep blue seas and the skies above, Dialog, Sri Lanka's #1 network. Dialog 5G Ultra. Experience Sri Lanka's #1 5G network today.
Welcome back to the news. Was human construction behind the landslide that killed 28 in Mavatura? A formal investigation has already been requested from the Ministry of Defence by the Udapalata Divisional Secretary over the tragedy.
Date 28th November 2025. The landslide struck Ihalagama in Mavatura Gampula on the 27th November. 17 houses were destroyed, 28 were confirmed dead, 6 are still missing. Was this disaster triggered by construction on the hilltop? Survivors and locals strongly suspect so.
ඉහළ කොටසේ තහනම් වෙච්ච කොටසක් උනා මේ පතල්ලා භූවිද්‍යාවකින් පරිසරයකින් එහෙම තහනම් කරපු වගා නොකරන්න කියලා කියපු කොටසේ වගා කරපු එකේ එයා වතුර ජල පද්ධති හදාගෙන වැව් වමුණු හදලා ජලය සපයාගත්ත එකේ ටොක් වතුර වගේක් තිබුණා කියලා අපි හොඳටම කියන්න වෙනවා ඒක. ආණ්ඩුව වල බලපෑම් මත එයා වැඩ කටයුතු කරලා අපේ ජීවිත හානි කරන්නත් මේක උදව්වක් උපකාරයක් වෙන්න ඇති කියලා අපි ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න සිදු වෙනවා. ඒ විශාල ජලාශයක් උඩ තිබිලා තියෙන අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක විනාශ වෙලා තමයි මේ පල්ලෙහාට ඇවිල්ලා නොහිතපු විදිහට අපිට මේ අහිමි වීම උනේ. මමත් යට වෙලා හිටියේ. යට වෙලා ඉඳලා මම කොහොම බොහොමවරෙන් උඩට බේරිලා ආවේ. අම්මා මගේ ඇත්තම නැතු වුණා. අම්මා බේර ගන්න බැරි වුණා. ඒකට මේ නායාපු හේතුවට අපිට තා ඉක්මනින් පරීක්ෂණයක් තියන්න කියලා තමයි අපි ඉල්ලන්නේ.
Locals point to a construction project in an area known as Kanapativatta where the landslide reportedly began.
මියගිය අයගේ ඥාතීන් දිගින් දිගටම ඒගොල්ලොන්ගෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් ඒ වගේම ඒගොල්ලන්ගෙන් ප්‍රශ්න කිරීමක් තියෙනවා මාවතුර ආශ්‍රිත නායයාම සිද්ධ වුණේ මිනිස් ක්‍රියාකාරකමක් හේතුවෙන් කියලා ඒ පාර්ශවෙන් චෝදනාවක් එල්ල වෙනවා ඥාතීන් ඇතුළු ගම්වාසීන්ගෙන්. ඉතින් මේ පිළිබඳව
Families of victims keep insisting this was caused by human activity. Due to repeated allegations, I personally inspected the site yesterday with villagers. They strongly believe this was man-made. Technical expertise is needed to confirm this. I have informed the district secretary and requested the defence ministry to conduct a full investigation and provide necessary support for future preventive measures.
අවශ්‍ය වෙන බැවින් සහ මේ පිළිබඳව වැඩිදුර ඉදිරි කටයුතු කිරීමේ අවශ්‍යතාවය මත අපගේ දිස්ත්‍රික් ලේකම්තුමාවත් මා දැනුවත් කරලා මා මේ වෙනකොට ආරක්ෂක අමාත්‍යාංශයට ඉල්ලීමක් කරලා තියෙනවා මේ පිළිබඳව විමර්ශනයක් කරලා මේකේ තත්ත්වය පැහැදිලි කරගන්න අවශ්‍ය සහයෝගය ලබා දෙන හැටියටත් ඒ වගේම ඉදිරියේදී මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ගත යුතු නිසි පියවර ගැනීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය සහයෝගය ලබා දෙන ලෙස.
Can human activity attribute to such disasters?
නායම් වලට ලක් වෙච්ච ප්‍රදේශ අතුරින් 35%ක්ම සිදු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ වාණිජ වගාබිම් විදිහට තේ වගාව ප්‍රමුඛ වෙච්ච වාණිජ වගාබිම් ව්‍යාප්ත කිරීමේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදිහට. ඊට අමතරව ජනාවාස පිහිටලා තියෙන ප්‍රදේශ 20%ක් නායම් වලට තර්ජනයට ලක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම වැදගත් වෙනවා පස සංරක්ෂණ පන්ත. පස සංරක්ෂණ පනතේ පැහැදිලිවම සඳහන් කරලා තියෙනවා අංශක 60ට
35% of landslide prone areas are linked to commercial plantations, mainly tea. Another 20% are forest zones under threat. The Soil Conservation Act clearly identifies zones with slopes over 62 degrees as high risk. The entire Central Highlands from Dumbara to Rakwana and Sabragamua are declared soil conservation zones, but enforcement has been weak for decades. This failure has created conditions for disasters like this.
පරිදි භාවිතා වෙන යාන්ත්‍රණයක් සකස් කරලා තිබුණේ පසුගිය ඉතිහාසයේ පුරාම. මොකද ඒ වේදී නීතිමය තත්වයන් හරි විදිහට ක්‍රියාත්මක වීමක් දකින්න ලැබුණේ නැහැ. ඒකේ ප්‍රතිඵල තමයි අපි දිට්වා සොලිකුණාටුවත් එක්කම ඇති වෙලා තියෙන තත්වය අපේ රට තුල නායම් ඇති කරමින් ගම් වතුර ඇති කරමින් ආපදා තත්වයකට විශාල ජනතාවක් පීඩනයට ලක් කරන තත්වයකට පරිවර්තනය වෙන්න පසුබිම ගොඩනගා ගත්තේ මෙන්න මේ කරුණු කාරණා වල ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදියට.
Wouldn't identifying the exact cause of the Mavathura Ihalagama landslide, which claimed 28 lives, be the first step toward preventing future disasters? If construction was indeed a contributing factor, who authorized such activity despite the clear risk to human lives?
Train operations between Colombo Fort and Chilau on the Puttalam railway line resumed today.
Previously, services were limited to Colombo Fort to North Tandia due to a section near the Kadupiti Oya railway bridge located between Kudavawa and Madampe being washed away. As a result, 5 train sets stationed at Chilau railway station could not be deployed. The Department of Railways confirmed that operations resumed after completing repairs at the affected site. In addition, the department announced that trains between Colombo Fort and Negombo will operate as usual during the morning and evening hours.
The 8th day of the LOLC Divisavia You, Me, Our Nation welfare initiative was held today, focusing on the Badulla district to provide essential relief to families devastated by recent disasters.
The 8th day of the LOLC Divisavia You, Me, Our Nation welfare initiative saw essential supplies distributed to numerous families whose homes were completely destroyed. The program covered areas including Kandikatiya, Passara, Haliyala, Haputale, Valimada, Uvaparanagama, Badulla and Lunugala. The initiative aims to assist 4,000 families across 69 divisional secretariat divisions, ensuring that those most affected receive urgent support. This 10-day program was launched to help communities impacted by Cyclone Ditwa, which caused severe damage across 6 districts: Kandy, Mathale, Kegol, Badulla, Nuvarelia and Ratnapura. Tomorrow, the program will continue in Badulla, Nuvarelia and Ratnapura, distributing dry rations and other essential items to families whose homes were completely destroyed.
From the earth to the deep blue seas and the skies above, Dialog, Sri Lanka's #1 network. Dialog 5G Ultra. Experience Sri Lanka's #1 5G network today.
Welcome back to the news. Former Ministry Secretary Renuka Ekanayake appeared before the Financial Crimes Investigation Division today.
A former top government official, Renuka Ekanayake, appeared before the Financial Crimes Investigation Division to provide a statement regarding an ongoing investigation into the importation of dairy heifers from Australia between 2012 and 2017. Police confirmed that Ekanayake arrived at the FCID around 9 a.m. and left at approximately 4:45 p.m. after hours of questioning related to the controversial transactions. This marks her second appearance before investigators in connection with the case. She previously recorded a statement on 23rd of June as part of the same inquiry.
Sri Lanka Customs has exceeded the revenue target set by the government for 2025. This is according to Customs Director and spokesperson Chandana Punjiheva.
2025 වර්ෂය සඳහා රජය විසින් ශ්‍රී ලංකා රේගුවට ලබා දීලා තිබුණු ආදායම ඉලක්කය
The government's revenue target for Sri Lanka Customs in 2025 was 2,115 billion rupees. By mid-November, we had already surpassed that figure. Subsequently, the target was revised to 2,231 billion rupees. As of Friday, the 26th, total tax revenue collected stands at 2,497 billion rupees, well above the revised target. With 3 working days still remaining, we expect this figure to reach approximately 2,525 billion rupees.
ප්‍රමාණය අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම රුපියල් මං හිතන්නේ බිලියන 2525කට වගේ ආසන්නයට යෑමේ විභවය තියෙනවා කියලා තමයි මට තේරෙන්නේ.
Sri Lanka is seeking China's help to power its EV revolution.
Sri Lanka is accelerating its green mobility ambitions with a bold proposal to establish electric vehicle charging stations across the country as a Chinese-funded initiative. The plan was put forward by Minister Vijay Herath during a high-level meeting with Chinese Ambassador Ki Zhenghong at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Minister Herath emphasized that Sri Lanka is increasingly importing electric vehicles from global markets, including China, and intends to introduce electric-powered buses in the near future. He urged China to consider providing charging infrastructure as a donation to support the transition. The Chinese ambassador welcomed the proposal positively and agreed to inform the Chinese government about the request.
A piece of debris from an Indian space research organization or ISRO launch vehicle has washed up on the eastern shores of Sri Lanka, creating curiosity among locals.
Sources confirmed that the debris originated from an ISRO rocket stage and clarified that its presence on the shore indicates the object fell into the sea as planned, in compliance with international space and maritime regulations. Sources assured the public that the debris is non-hazardous, non-toxic, and does not contain any valuable material that would warrant recovery efforts. This is a normal occurrence in space missions, sources emphasized, noting that controlled disposal of rocket stages into designated ocean zones is standard practice worldwide.
US President Donald Trump announced a significant progress toward a comprehensive peace agreement aimed at ending the war in Ukraine, delivering remarks during a bilateral meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Trump revealed that he had a 2-hour phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin prior to the meeting and later held a joint call with European leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky traded freezing missile-tormented Kiev on Sunday for the frescoed dining room at Mar-a-Lago, where he hoped to gain President Donald Trump's sign-off on a revised 20-point peace plan to end the war in his country. Emerging after more than 3 hours of talks, neither man announced any major breakthrough in the grinding effort to end the conflict started by Russia in 2022.
We covered, somebody would say 95%, I don't know what percent, but we have made a lot of progress on ending that war, which is really certainly the most deadly war since World War II, probably the biggest war since World War II. Really, nobody would even have a chance of getting it to where it is right now. Nobody would have thought that was possible. So I just want to say we've done very well. We've had discussions on just about every subject, and that includes with President Putin before. And we went into great detail, and we likewise went into great detail today. And it was an honor to have you at Mar-a-Lago and have lunch. I hope you enjoyed the food. Your people enjoy the food, I can tell you that. You're big, strong people.
And we discussed all the aspects of the peace framework, which includes, and we have great achievements, 20-point peace plan, 90% agreed, and U.S.-Ukraine security guarantees, 100% agreed. U.S.-Europe-Ukraine security guarantees, almost agreed. Military dimension, 100% agreed. Prosperity plan being finalized, and we also discussed the sequencing of the following actions. And we agree that security guarantees is a key milestone in achieving lasting peace, and our teams will continue working on all aspects. We also had a joint productive call with European leaders, like President Trump said already, and a lot of leaders, including NATO and the EU. And we agreed that our teams will meet in upcoming weeks to finalize all discussed matters. And we agreed with President Trump that he will host us, and maybe in Washington, European leaders and Ukrainian delegation, yes, in January. And Ukraine is ready for peace. And once again, would like to thank President Trump for a warm welcome and substantial discussion.
US, Ukrainian and European teams will continue meeting over the coming weeks, potentially in Washington, and President Trump is also expected to speak again with Putin, who would need to sign on the terms of any potential peace deal. Russia, which launched a fresh barrage of missile and drone attacks on Ukraine ahead of Sunday's talks, has refused any talk of ceasefire.
A train carrying 250 people has derailed partially in southern Mexico, killing at least 13 people and injuring 98 others.
The Mexican Navy says that the interoceanic train linking the states of Oaxaca and Veracruz went off the rails on Sunday as it passed a curve near the town of Nizanda. It said that 98 people were injured and that unfortunately 13 people lost their lives. The train was carrying 9 crew members and 241 passengers at the time of the accident. Of those on board, 139 were reported to be out of danger, while 36 of the 98 injured were still receiving medical assistance.
British heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua has been involved in a car accident in Nigeria's Ogun state that has killed 2 people.
Nigerian officials suspect Joshua's vehicle crashed into a stationary truck during an overtake while over the speed limit. According to officials, 5 adults were involved in the crash, 2 of whom have died, while 2 others escaped unhurt. Anthony Joshua, who was travelling in the back of the vehicle, was rescued alive but sustained minor injuries and has been taken to hospital for medical attention. Joshua, who is the son of British Nigerian parents, has roots in Nigeria, where he attended a boarding school just 53 miles from where the crash happened before returning to Britain at the age of 12. The accident occurred just over a week after Joshua knocked out American social media star Jake Paul in the 6th round of a bout in Miami.
On to news from the world of football. Portugal football captain Cristiano Ronaldo says he will not end his career until he scores his 1000th career goal.
The 40-year-old scored twice in Al Nassr's 3-0 win against Al Akhdud last Saturday to take his tally for club and country to 956 goals. The forward, who joined Al Nassr